In today's video, we'll discuss how you will make money using debt. Now in July 2012, Mark Zuckerberg funded his $5.95 million Palo Alto house. With a 30-year mortgage, he lives 3 miles from Facebook's headquarters. He was only 28 years old at the time and the world's 40th richest person, valued at an estimated $17.5 billion. Why would he enter into debt if he has billions of cash and can simply pay it? He might simply purchase a dozen $5 million mansions in cash without blinking an eye. So why take out a mortgage? The explanation is deep and complex, but in a nutshell, it is free money. It seems crazy. Who would offer you free money when you're already a billionaire? Let me explain. It all comes down to interest rates. In the United States, the rate of inflation is 2.5 to 3%. Hence, any money borrowed that is less than the inflation rate is called free money. Zuckerberg's mortgage rate is slightly over 1.1%, although it is adjustable, which means that depending on the conditions, the rate might go up for a reason or the other. When you do the arithmetic, the bank loses because the mortgage rate is lower than the inflation rate. To do the math, you don't even have to be a genius. As an example, suppose you borrow $1 million at a 1.25% interest rate. The savings account's average return rate is 2.3%. That is, however, if you deposit the $1 million in another bank. You will earn $23,000 a year while only making a monthly loan payment of $12,500 to the bank that lent you money. Imagine doing it with $100 million or $1 billion. There's no use in locking up your own money whenever you can put it to more profitable purposes when you're able to loan for free. Obviously, when dealing with little sums of money, they may not make sense since the difference isn't that huge. But when dealing with large amounts, playing around with 0.5%, 1%, or 3% may potentially equal to tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Assume you are a businessman who can comfortably buy $1 million mansion. Why purchase a mansion if you can loan it for 1 or 2% while investing the rest of your money in your company, which might possibly provide 5, 15, or even 25% returns? Even if you are too lazy to locate a more profitable strategy to invest your money, simply investing it entirely in an index fund can be far more rewarding, especially when it comes to 15 or 25 years. Historically, an index fund has shown to have an average return of 8%. If you take a mortgage and invest your money in an index fund, the percentage difference will end up in your pocket. It all comes down to opportunity cost. Economically, it wouldn't make sense for Zuckerberg to buy the house in cash when he has been offered a 1% mortgage rate. But he is not the only one who is so smart to do that. Consider, for example, Elon Musk. Most of his fortune is related to Tesla and SpaceX. To purchase a property for $20 million, he may need to sell a huge portion of his wealth, pay taxes, and suffer other fees. Alternatively, he may accept free money and maintain his monthly payment within his budget. He obtained $61 million financing for 5 houses in California, with a monthly payment of $180,000. This is not limited to billionaires. It is also performed by relatively wealthy individuals. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions about investing. Let's return to the video. Instead of storing up $61 million in a mansion, he knows exactly where to put it in order to maximize his return. At the end of the day, he had made numerous outstanding investments, and he is well on his way to become a billionaire. The more money you have, the more money you can make. But let's be realistic. hardly everyone obtains such a cheap mortgage rate. The national average is roughly 3%. Yet even at that rate, it doesn't make sense to buy a property if you can finance it. However, let us be clear. Why are the super rich paying less than the rest of the country? To begin with, if you're a billionaire, then the bank can rest easy since no one is concerned that you will fail on your loan. And if something does happen, you can easily sell a portion of your firm to pay off your mortgage, removing the risk from the situation. When compared to the normal employee who may become ill and be unable to work, or may simply lose his job for a variety of reasons. Second, settling your loan on time each month lets you create and maintain a solid credit score, which will make it much simpler to loan money from banks the next time you are in need. You are essentially establishing trust between yourself and the financial companies. It might, however, be the other way around. Banks give such cheap mortgage rates in order to build good relationships with wealthy people, so that whenever their businesses require a loan from a bank, they turn to them rather than their competitors. That's a win-win situation for everyone. But as I previously stated, these cheap mortgage rates are variable, which means they might rise. But no one is concerned because if it no longer makes economic sense for these ultra-rich individuals, they can easily pay off their mortgage. However, most people identify debt with something unpleasant since we frequently borrow money for amusement that we cannot afford and eventually pay a lot more back. In fact, as soon as you graduate from college, you realize how much of a nightmare your student loans have become. When you compute how many years it will take to repay your debt, you instantly establish the notion that debt is bad, especially when you are unable to default on it. Dealing with debt is not simple. You are ultimately taking a significant risk, and a small mistake might have devastating impacts. In fact, we've gotten so far into debt that most individuals can't even afford a $600 bill as we have to pay all of those per month. That, however, is what divides bad debt from good debt. Debt may wreck your life, render you homeless, and ruin your entire family if you act careless. However, it can also make you extremely wealthy if you understand how to leverage it. Leverage is an ability that can quickly make you wealthy. Let's assume, for example, you purchase these limited edition shoes for $9,000 and then sell them for $10,000. Congratulations! You simply made a $1,000 profit, but that's not much. But what about if you utilize leverage? Go to a bank, then loan $490,000, then add another $10,000 to make it $500,000. You go to the distributor and acquire more limited edition shoes for $500,000, then sell them on the market for $580,000. But you need to repay your loan, so you return to the bank and pay back the $490,000 you loaned, plus another $10,000 of interest. You now have $800,000. After deducting your personal $10,000, you are left with $70,000 of huge profits. Whenever you don't have any money, this is how you make it. The bank earned its cut of the profit and you earned yours. Of course, whenever this formula is taken to its logical conclusion and is not controlled by the government and adopted by everyone on Wall Street, it results in a financial catastrophe, as it did in 2008. Remember when real estate prices plummeted? And then they brought the entire economy down with them, and investment banks abused leverage to boost profits to the point that their approach failed. Because they started lending to people who didn't have good credit and weren't financially stable enough to pay the monthly fees. Eventually, they defaulted on their loans, which was a misery for investors since for the previous 40 years, housing values had been growing and then abruptly dropping. We're not going to dive into the facts of the 2008 economic downturn since that's a subject for another video, but it's still a key instrument for affluent people to generate money. Of course, it's dangerous and you may lose it all, although if you know what you're doing, you could earn a fortune overnight. Hope you have learned something from this video. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the like button and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for you to be updated on our latest videos. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.